A few words about Dr. No, part of the series with James Bond at the center, a series in which Sean Connery, the recently departed great actor, plays the leading role. Indeed, there's a series now on Cinemax which may be in honor of his departure, albeit it's not late, but never say never say too late. There are some silly sayings on that. A towering character. Incidentally, I've read in Making Movies by Sidney Lumet, a wonderful cineast, filmmaker, the one who gave cinephiles and the world at large such gems as A Dog Day Afternoon. And he has had the chance to work with Sean Connery. And I remember he's talking about so many things about movies, how he filmed with Al Pacino in Dog Days Afternoon. But it's also difficult to put, let's say, someone like Al Pacino and Sean Connery in the same frame because one is very short. Compared with, this is not in absolute terms, of course. And you have a problem. How do you have this and then the very tall Sean Connery? We can wonder how these movies will age. Termină, măi, nebunule. Given two things. First of all, the new standards, the politically correct rules of now and the future, which will be more stringent, presumably, unless, of course, there's a return indicated by 75 million fools, if you ask me, that vote for the very stable genius, and thus immorality, perversion, you name it, anti-values, not values. And if that happens around the world, and you have Brazil, I was just reading that Bolsonaro, the idiot, another fool, is so popular that he will be elected if elections would take place. Now, after so many idiotic things he's done and said, what happens in his family, corruption, so then it's bad. And the number one party here is also, let's not just look in other people's courtyards and affairs. Here, the epitome, the paradigm of corruption, ineptitude, vileness, immorality, all the negative traits combined. So this red plague has won the elections. What we were talking about? Oh yeah, Dr. No. What's the connection? Well, there's a villain there in the title and in the movie, and we have those types of villains around the world. And I was saying that if we move towards these parties and voters show that they hold up these values, that is, if they want populist disgusting narcissists, idiots ultimately, thieves, crooks. Then we can't talk of changing standards and politically correct notions. But if that happens, James Bond's character would not stand up so well. Because he was a womanizer and because there's a series. So apart from Dr. No, in the following days there will be a note on Thunderbolt. And in Thunderbolt, he is practically, I'd say, abusing a woman, blackmailing her, and feminists would be outraged if this is coming under their radar. But that's Thunderbolt. That's the day after tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow we have From Russia with Love, I guess, and something else with it, number 4. Anyway, then there's the other thing which is interesting about James Bond, the fact that he is so unreal, really, in that he is handsome, he is outstanding, he is exotic, he attracts the attention, and that's exactly what a secret agent does not do. So the real undercover professional has to blend in. He will not order martini shaked with vodka and an olive, and no, he will order a Coke, bottled water, something like that. He's not tall, he's average, and his looks are also normal, if you will. He will not sleep with all the women around and have relationships with all, a few at the same time. And you will not be able to normally distinguish him in a crowd, which of course you do with Sean Connery, and the character as he is designed for these movies. Otherwise, good chronicles, critics have been happy. It's also true that these takes on this and, well, all the other movies have been written down just after the release of the film. And it's more than likely that the same critics, as they look at this again, they might change. They probably will change to some degree their attitude. Of course, there will be films that stand the test of time. I'm thinking Doctor Strangelove and How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, Kubrick, and many other masterpieces. But some, let's give the example of what was once one of the best 10 movies ever made, on the list of best 100 of Time magazine and so on. Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind has been pulled out of programs by HBO, I'm guessing, and I'm thinking others, maybe too, because of the racial issues in there. So, there you are.